He unzipped his pants and he pulled out his and he didn't say anything to me.
In the dead of night, when the cameras in Atlanta's Federal Detention Center flickered off for exactly 17 minutes, a pregnant warden's life changed forever. Warden TD, a woman known for her quiet resilience, stepped into the solitary confinement unit of Block C on March 13th, her boots echoing in the sterile hallway where only one inmate waited, Sean Combs, better known as Diddy. What happened in that darkened, unmonitored space would unravel into a scandal so insidious it threatens to expose not just one man's actions, but an entire system designed to bury the truth. TD's handwritten letter, delivered to her supervisor on June 4th, trembled with a single haunting line. He knew I wouldn't dare say anything because it was just me and him. Now 14 weeks pregnant, her medical records align her conception date precisely with that night. A night when the hallway C security camera, CA-17, went inexplicably dark. No incident report was filed, no footage survived, and no one spoke up until TD's courage broke the silence. But this isn't just her story, it's a chilling pattern. 3 camera outages in solitary Block C over 3 months, all during shifts worked by female wardens. 2 others, one resigned, one vanished into unexplained leave, faced similar disruptions, their stories swallowed by the same eerie silence. A threatening note slipped under a break room door warned, "You won't be giving birth if you dare open your mouth." Then, just 36 hours after TD's complaint, her name was erased from the detention center's system, her whereabouts unknown, her voice snuffed out. Meanwhile, Diddy remains untouched in solitary, his attorney dodging questions, and a mysterious 49-minute meeting with him is locked behind a high-security code, its footage untouchable. Who's pulling the strings in Atlanta? Why do access logs vanish, cameras fail, and complaints rot in unprocessed archives? This isn't just a scandal, it's a cover-up, and if silence prevails, the next voice to cry out may never be heard. The Atlanta Federal Detention Center looms like a fortress of secrets, its grey walls hiding more than just inmates. On March 13th at 10:11 p.m., Warden TD swiped her access card to enter solitary Block C, a place where the air feels heavier, where the hum of fluorescent lights is the only sound breaking the oppressive quiet. She was alone, or so the logs say, except for Diddy, inmate CBX 143, a man whose fame as a music mogul clashed starkly with the concrete cell he now called home. The electronic door access history confirms her entry, but what followed is shrouded in mystery. At 10:14 p.m., camera CA-17's status light blinked out, plunging the hallway into a 17-minute void. No alerts were triggered, no technical support was summoned, and when the system flickered back to life at 10:31 p.m., why is the first image captured was an emergency light flickering, a signal investigators later noted that the power source had been tampered with. No maintenance was scheduled that night. A hastily filed report the next day, signed by an unnamed technician, chalked it up to a sudden voltage drop, cause unknown. But no tech team was dispatched, no follow-up ordered. TD finished her shift, her face pale, her hands unsteady, according to a colleague who saw her in the break room afterward. She didn't speak of what happened, didn't file a report, didn't dare breathe a word, until June 4th, when she walked into the supervisor's office with that crumpled handwritten letter, her words scrawled in black ink, each letter a testament to her fear and resolve. The letter wasn't just a complaint. It was a grenade lobbed into the heart of the detention center's operations. TD claimed Diddy coerced her, exploiting the blackout, the jammed walkie-talkie signal, and the dim backup lighting that left her trapped in a hallway with no escape. "He told me no one would believe me," she wrote, her words raw and unpolished, as if penned in a single desperate burst. She described how the emergency call system failed, how the door wouldn't unlock, how Diddy's voice carried a calm menace that chilled her to the core. Her pregnancy test, taken 6 weeks later on April 27th, after days of fatigue and nausea, confirmed she was 14 weeks along, a timeline that pointed like a dagger to that March night. The medical report, buried in the detention center's health department files, was never meant to see the light of day. TD's absence from duty began shortly after, her transfer request submitted 4 days later with no explanation, no accompanying statement, just a silent plea to escape. But the system didn't protect her. Instead, it erased her. On June 6th at 9:02 a.m., and her name was removed from the personnel database under a cryptic special personnel code adjustment. No decision number, no reason, no trace. Her email, fingerprint access, and authentication devices were wiped from the network as if she'd never existed. The changelog, executed from the highest access server, DCCA1, required clearance only 2 people possessed, the head of Federal Human Resources and the deputy director. Neither has claimed responsibility. This wasn't the first time solitary Block C's cameras betrayed their purpose. Between March 1st and June 1st, 3 outages plagued the unit, all between 9:30 p.m. and 11 p.m, and all during shifts staffed by female wardens. The first on March 2nd lasted 12 minutes. The second on March 28th, 15 minutes. And the third on March 13th was TD's 17-minute nightmare. 2 other wardens were involved in those earlier incidents. Warden JM, a veteran of 8 years, resigned abruptly after the March 2nd outage, citing personal reasons in a one-line email. Warden KL, newer to the job, took extended leave after the March 28th incident. Her personnel file marked unavailable for comment. A leaked internal memo revealed that KL had been verbally threatened by Diddy during a meal delivery weeks earlier, an incident brushed off with a verbal warning and no official record. Neither woman has spoken publicly, but their absence screams louder than words. The pattern is undeniable. Female wardens, isolated shifts, camera failures, and a chilling silence that follows. Why were no incident reports filed? Why were no backup recordings activated, despite protocol mandating redundant surveillance in solitary units? And why, in a facility designed to uphold the law, does it feel like the law is being rewritten to protect the guilty? The note found on June 5th at 7:23 a.m. turned the scandal from troubling to terrifying. A janitor, sweeping the ground floor administrative area, discovered a folded piece of paper wedged beneath the doorframe of break room B107, TD's former break room. Written in fresh black marker, unsigned with no fingerprints, it read, "You won't be giving birth if you dare open your mouth." The camera covering that area, ABT2, had malfunctioned at 3:14 a.m. The hours before the note was found, rendering any trace of its delivery impossible. No alerts were issued, no protective measures taken. The Internal Security Unit's report, dated June 6th, dismissed it with a single line. There is no elevated risk of further harm. But the timing, one day after TD's complaint, screams retaliation. Access logs from the area showed 5 card swipes that night, 4 from cleaning staff, 1 from an unidentified grey code card, typically issued to temporary tech teams. By 10:01 a.m. that day, the grey code was erased from the system. No username attached, no trace protocol activated. The note wasn't investigated, wasn't archived, wasn't even acknowledged beyond that dismissive report. It was as if the system wanted it to disappear, just like TD. Diddy, meanwhile, remains a ghost in plain sight. Still housed in solitary Block C, he hasn't been transferred, hasn't been isolated, hasn't answered a single question. His attorney, a sharp-suited figure known for deflecting media with practiced ease, declined comment, citing ongoing legal proceedings. But a 49-minute meeting on June 6th raises more questions than answers. At 2:15 p.m, Diddy was escorted to meeting room 3 for a private consultation with his lawyer. No supervising officer was listed, despite policy requiring one for inmates under investigation. The room's camera was active, but the footage from 2:10 p.m. to 3:05 p.m. was flagged as unavailable, locked behind emergency code M7, a designation reserved for national security cases or multi-agency investigations. No one in the detention center has the authority to assign M7 without external approval, yet no one has confirmed who did. A maintenance technician later found a handheld recording device hidden under the consultation desk, its batteries removed, unlisted in the facility's inventory. It was handed to the Internal Security Division, but no intake record exists. No analysis was conducted. Diddy was escorted back to his cell via Route C4, a path bypassing luggage inspection, under an expedited protocol reserved for psychologically unstable inmates. Yet no medical record supports this classification. The deeper you dig, the darker it gets. A cybersecurity technician confirmed that disabling camera CA17 required second-floor clearance, access to internal control system code ZN6, and a manual command from the main electrical panel. Remote operation isn't possible, yet the control room door log shows no access during the blackout. Was the log deleted, or does someone have invisible privileges? The same question haunts the note's delivery, the grey code's erasure, and TD's removal from the system. On June 7th, an inspector found an unstamped document bundle in the basement archive labelled Urgent Proposal, Internal Use Only, titled Risk Assessment Proposal for Isolated Handling of Inmate CBX 143. It mentioned isolated 9 times, hinting at special treatment for Diddy. No archive code, no memo, no author, just 17 pages of chilling implications left to gather dust in compartment 4B, unprocessed and unassigned. TD's disappearance is the heart of this scandal. Her personnel file, marked mentally non-responsive, MNR, suggests severe trauma, but no medical directive supports it. Her transfer to an off-site safe house on June 5th, hours after the note was found, was coded urgent, with no destination listed. No witness protection protocol was activated, no unit claimed responsibility. She's gone, her voice silenced, her complaint buried. Other staff feel the chill. 3 technicians requested relief from Block C night shifts, one citing operational pressure. A surveillance employee from March 13th fled to another state. The Thursday morning meeting after TD's erasure avoided her name, but the new duty schedule replaced her slot with a male warden, a new hire with no prior history or referral. The message is clear. Speak up and you might vanish too. This isn't just about one night, one warden, or one inmate. It's about a system that allows cameras to fail, logs to disappear, and complaints to be buried. It's about power. Diddy's, yes, but also those above him. The faceless figures who erase access codes, lock footage behind M7 codes, and dismiss threats as no risk. If TD's pregnancy is a consequence of that March night, who enabled it? Who ensured the cameras went dark, the walkie-talkie jammed, the emergency system failed? And why, in a facility meant to protect, does it feel like the real crime is speaking out? The unanswered questions pile up. Why were 3 female wardens targeted in similar outages? Why was TD's complaint left unprocessed? Why does Diddy's influence seem to extend beyond his cell? If this system can erase a pregnant woman's existence, what's stopping it from silencing the next? The Atlanta Federal Detention Center isn't just holding inmates, it's holding secrets. And if no one breaks the silence, those secrets will bury the truth forever. The investigation, if you can call it that, is a study in evasion. The Federal Investigative Unit's preliminary finding admitted the system appears to have been tampered with, potentially by a high-level staff member, but no action followed. A closed-door meeting on June 5th with FBI representatives, prison management, and personnel oversight concluded with a single, toothless statement. There is insufficient evidence to conclude that inmate Diddy was directly involved in the note. No legal actions have been taken against him, no isolation orders issued, no restrictions on his attorney's access. The unstamped proposal, the erased access codes, the restricted footage, all point to a cover-up, but no one dares name it. Staff members whisper in break rooms, their eyes darting to the cameras that may or may not be watching. The fear is palpable. If TD could vanish, who's next? The system's silence is its own kind of threat, a warning to anyone who might consider speaking out. And yet, the cracks are showing. The leaked memo about KL's threat, the unstamped proposal, the technician's discovery of the hidden recorder, these are fragments of a truth fighting to surface. But fragments aren't enough. Without TD's voice, without her testimony, the system will keep spinning, protecting its own, burying its sins. The Atlanta Federal Detention Center was meant to uphold justice, but it's become a labyrinth of shadows. Every detail, the 17-minute blackout, the threatening note, the erased logs, the unprocessed complaint, points to a machine built to conceal, not reveal. TD's letter, her pregnancy, her disappearance, they're not just a tragedy, they're a warning. If a pregnant warden can be silenced, her name wiped from existence, what chance do others have? The 2 other wardens, JM and KL, are gone, their stories untold. The technicians, the surveillance staff, the janitor who found the note, they're all pieces of a puzzle no one wants to solve. Diddy, the only constant, sits in his cell, his influence untouched, his silence deafening. The system protects him, or someone within it does. The question isn't just what happened on March 13th, it's who made it possible and why are they still hiding? If silence is the price of survival in Atlanta, then the next scream may never be heard.